The Red Sea, a narrow ribbon of water stretching between Africa and Arabia, has always been more than just a sea. For centuries it's been a vital artery funneling ships, trade and ambition between East and West. Today its significance is only growing. Nearly 10% of global trade flows through these waters, making the Red Sea a lifeline for economies worldwide. But lately, the calm has been shattered. Piracy, smuggling, and the shadow of regional conflict now haunt its shipping lanes, threatening stability and prosperity far beyond its shores. Against this backdrop of rising tension, a new chapter is about to unfold, one that will reshape the balance of power on these ancient waves. The Red Sea, once a crossroads of empires, now witnesses a new force, Saudi warships slicing through its waves. These vessels aren't on routine patrol, they're a bold signal that Riyadh is taking charge of its own security. For decades the US and other distant powers kept watch here, but the region is changing fast. Saudi Arabia, transforming at home and abroad, now sees Red Sea security as a matter of national survival. Deploying its navy as a direct response to rising threats and a declaration that the kingdom will guard this vital maritime corridor. This move marks a shift from reliance on foreign protection to proactive self-defense. The world is watching, because disruptions here ripple through global trade, affecting everything from oil prices to supply chains. Saudi Arabia's warships are more than military hardware. They're the vanguard of a new assertive foreign policy. The story of these ships is the story of a new era for the Middle East. The Red Sea is a lifeline for global commerce, with 12% of world trade and nearly 10% of seaborne oil passing through its narrow straits. But beneath its calm surface, danger is rising, piracy is resurging, and Yemen's conflict has spilled into these waters. Houthi rebels have targeted ships with missiles and drone boats, turning the sea into a battleground and raising costs for all. Non-state actors now wield advanced weapons, making every transit a calculated risk. A single attack could block this artery, halting trade and triggering global economic shockwaves. International naval patrols are stretched thin, and for Saudi Arabia these threats are immediate and existential. The kingdom's robust response is a signal. The era of leaving Red Sea security to others is over. Saudi Arabia's naval surge is tightly linked to Vision 2030, its plan to diversify beyond oil. The Red Sea coast is the heart of this vision, home to mega-projects like NEOM and luxury tourism hubs. These investments, worth hundreds of billions, depend on a stable, secure environment. The Navy now acts as a shield, protecting not just territory but the future of the Saudi economy. By projecting power at sea, Riyadh reassures investors and signals that its ambitions won't be derailed by regional turmoil. Modern warships and surveillance systems are as much about economic security as military might. This is a new Saudi Arabia, building self-reliance, modernizing its forces, and defending its interests on its own terms. The Red Sea's security is now a pillar of the kingdom's future. The Red Sea is now a crowded chessboard with global and regional powers vying for influence. The US, long the dominant force, is shifting focus, while China, Russia, and European nations expand their presence with bases and patrols. Regional players, Turkey, the UAE, Egypt, are also asserting themselves, turning the coastline into one of the world's most militarized zones. Into this mix, Saudi Arabia is stepping up, determined to shape the region's security architecture. By deploying its navy, Riyadh claims a leading role, no longer content to be a bystander. Control of ports and shipping lanes now means real power, and Saudi Arabia is making its move. This is a high-stakes game, where every deployment shifts the balance. The kingdom is signaling. It intends to be a king, not a pawn, in the new order. Saudi Arabia's naval deployment has drawn mixed reactions across the region and beyond. Gulf allies like the UAE and Bahrain welcome the move, seeing it as a step toward regional self-reliance and collective security. Western powers publicly support burden sharing but quietly worry about escalation and miscalculation. Egypt, with its own Red Sea interests, eyes Riyadh's growing power warily, aware of shifting regional balances. African states like Sudan and Eritrea must navigate the ambitions of a stronger neighbor, balancing opportunity with risk. Some analysts see Saudi action as a stabilizing force, deterring attacks and managing threats locally. Others warn of an arms race and the dangers of crowded waters. where a single incident could spark wider conflict. The central question: will this lead to a safer Red Sea, or a more contested one? The Red Sea's future is one of growing complexity and competition. Saudi Arabia is investing in advanced ships and joint exercises, aiming for true power projection. But with so many navies in close quarters, the risk of miscalculation is real. One mistake could trigger a crisis. New regional alliances may emerge, but success depends on overcoming rivalries and building trust. Saudi Arabia's move marks a shift. Regional powers are taking charge of their own security. This could mean a more secure Red Sea, but also new uncertainties and challenges. The world's trade depends on what happens here. Navigating these turbulent waters will require not just military might, but diplomatic skill and cooperation.